All right, so welcome to another video from the chart readers. This is Stock Talks number 9, I believe, and we're going to look at the FAANG stocks. There's been a couple name changes, right? So it's not technically FAANG anymore, but that is what they were originally known by, right? We are starting with the original F, now an M technically, but this is Meta on the daily. And then as normal, we're going to start up here with our moving averages. We'll draw some horizontal lines for support and resistance, and then we'll get to these lower indicators shortly. So what's the story on Meta? Look, let's zoom back like we normally do. Oh my, okay, look. Okay, so I think this is pretty much where the story goes, because look. Okay, so few things are happening here, right? Clearly, we've been riding above the 8, above the 20. And unlike most that had this happen in April, really Meta started seeing some issues early last year, actually. So early last year, it basically just makes this nosedive, right? Not only does it start trading under the 8, but it's now just starting to lose a bunch of moving averages. The 200 wanted to save it, right? It bounces off, bounces off, bounces off. You know, the 200 does a pretty good job actually for a number of months holding it between October and January. And then eventually, once it loses the 200, I mean, it just plummeted, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a number of things news-wise, right? The lines do guide you a lot, and I rarely talk about news, but Meta obviously has had a number of layoffs. A couple of important C-level people have left, you know, a whole mess of things, right? But whatever this was, this is a pretty nasty gap, and at some point, like I say, I've mentioned it a couple times, we're gonna hope to fill this gap, right? I don't know when, but we'll fill that gap at some point. So after this monster drop, look, really, it's just a game of moving averages, right? We're trading under the 8. We break the 8 and actually start making a run to this, what is this, the 50, clearly fail it, and then really do a couple bounces off the 50 before one more monster fail, and then really just this dance between the 50 again, right? And zooming in, that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, I'm not going to lie, with how well the Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Dow have been doing in the last couple months, I'm surprised Meta's doing this poorly. Nonetheless, there's a couple good things I see before I start making the horizontal lines. Look, we're 2 days over the 8. We've now actually been 2 days over the 20 as well. Hopefully, we can take this 50 and make a nice little run up here, right? So let me make a couple lines. I'll take this guy right here, the tall one. Nice, it looks like we broke that. That's good. I'll put this guy right there. I'll put this guy right there. And then let's put a couple down here. I'll use this guy right here. And yeah, I guess one more down, but hope this, I think that's pretty good. And then I guess we'll go one more up. Let's just give it one more up. I think I'll pick this guy right there. Okay. So, nice. That's pretty close to there. Okay, I'm okay with these. So, this is a pretty good step up and step down for Meta. Really, I think the next big thing is going to be breaking the 50. Hopefully, if this can open, let's look over there. So 172. If this is over 172, should be able to ride to 175. From there, hopefully ride all that into the 180s. There's a couple points. It looked like I can see this 180 right here, maybe even being another line here. I'm not trying to go too line crazy. And again, it's not necessarily about perfection, right? We're just kind of looking for that step up. But that looks like a pretty good up and down for Meta. MACD looks pretty good. I like how we are breaking off like that. Still in the negative, though. Again, I would expect these to be in the positive. Really, RSI doesn't look that great either. So it might be a little hard to break the 50. Or if it breaks the 50, it might not be a wild break. But yeah, lower indicators really don't look like the stock has a lot of momentum on the dailies. So interesting. Let's just take a quick look at the weekly. I mean, the weekly doesn't look very good. This is the first week that it's actually over the 8. Obviously, we do want another confirmation of that, but Yeah, the weekly does not look too strong, actually. So, all right, that's Meta right there. So next we will look at Amazon, AMZN, Amazon.com. All right, oh, that's the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Oh my, I have no idea what that is. That might be a glitch. I don't know if it really did go that much. Let's check out the hourly. Looks like something happened right at the close or right at after hours. I'm going to go ahead and kind of disregard. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and disregard the crazy lines. I imagine this will get fixed tomorrow when I refresh. Okay, because yeah, this is a penny stock kind of move right here. This is definitely not an Amazon thing kind of move. So, look, this looks like a much better chart than Meta, right? Just right off the bat. So hopefully, I hope you were able to notice that as well, right? Let's look at this. This is a little bit more familiar of a story, right? We've seen this in the last couple videos. So around early April is where this loses the last of the moving averages and then just starts trading well below the 8. A couple attempts up to break this 50, and actually around mid-July it breaks not only the 50, but it just kind of starts doing this nice little ride up of the 8. So right now we've got a nice again, try to disregard these lines. I have no idea why those are there, but we have a nice separation between where we're at and the 8. So I am actually pretty thrilled to see that. Clearly, this is going to be the next big wall, right? So what is that at? If you look over, 146 is the 200 moving average. So let's make some lines real quick. But again, Amazon looking much, much better than Meta, to say the least. Look at that. That actually lines up exactly on where we're at on the 200. Let's put one right here. And then we'll put one right here. And then again, there are some places it could go down. We'll put one right there. I like that. And then this right here. So, cool. Look, again, I'm more than confident that this extreme wick line is nothing more than a glitch on the system that we're looking at. And then again, we saw it on the hourly. Something silly happened right at close. So I'm gonna disregard that, and I'll see what that looks like tomorrow morning. But yeah, this is Amazon, a lot more bullish than Meta, at least looking on top. And then look at that. MACD is in the positive, and clearly the green is taking off while the red is well behind it. So nice to see there, actually. And then what does this RSI look like? Oh, interesting. Okay, so the RSI is a little high. I generally say 80 is generally the max on the RSI. Don't get me wrong. I've seen things go in the 90s, even higher, right? But with that, it might be a little hard to break the 200. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this thing's going to crash by any means, right? But I can actually see this cooling down and coming to, 140, if not this 135, let it cool down a bit, and then maybe making another run to the 200. But overall, Amazon looking better than Meta. So, cool. That's next up is Apple, AAPL. All right, let me hide these real quick. Okay, so basically the same story with Amazon as we see with Apple. Actually, almost the whole story is on this screen. I'll zoom out a little bit. Early April, we lose the 8. Clearly just are trading well below the 8. This is the first attempt at breaking the 20. We fail. And then really, after this little attempt and fail of the 20, it just starts to run, right? And look, there's nothing better than just riding the 8, right? Over the 8, or literally every single one. Even this one's actually like it closes right on the 8. This is the first one that doesn't, and the rest are, right? So I mean, you can see the power of the 8. So where are we today? Look, we've actually broken the 200 moving average, and we've gotten a number of days of confirmation, right? We've been above it all these. We're sitting up here, and there's a lot of reason to believe that we can actually maybe make another run at one of these peaks up here, right? So this is looking good. Clearly, I would have loved to get in a little earlier, right? When we really just first broke this 8 and done this right up. but still looks pretty good. Let's make a couple lines here. So we'll go the top of that guy. I'm gonna go with this guy right here. What do you look like? Oh, that's basically where we're at right now. Okay, okay. Put one right there. Yeah, I'll take that one right there. Okay, I think that's a pretty good step up. I think I'll put that one right there. Yeah, I think it can be a good one. Yeah, okay, I'm good with this. I like this, actually. I do like this. So, again, we're sitting right here. Hopefully, it keeps going this right up, right? 170 ideally would be next. And like I said, the goal would be to basically get to the top of the peak. Let's see what momentum looks like. Okay, so MACD looks good. Again, you can clearly see the green is taking off. It seemed like it wanted a curve, but nothing drastic, right? And you can see it's done these curves, but still goes up. So I'm taking that as a positive MACD. Ooh, okay. RSI is a little bit too much. That might mean we're gonna just dance in this $5 channel. Maybe we'll come back down to this like 160 range, let the RSI calm down, and then make another run up. But yeah, it looks like we're basically gonna do this 160 to 170 dance right now. So yeah. I would say Amazon looked a little better than Apple. Both of them for sure look better than Meta. So we're gonna go over to GOOG now. Alphabet, right? So this is another one of the changes. Oh, I forgot the N. I should have done Netflix, but whatever. We'll get to Netflix. Let me just do Netflix. All right, Netflix. Okay. So this is Netflix. Again, what is this? Is this some... Okay, again, something silly is happening after hours. I'm going to go ahead and just disregard that because that just seems incorrect. So, look at this. Interesting. So, I'm not even going to back up and do the whole story. I'm just really going to do what we're looking at here. There is a very nice gap fill that's coming, right? I'm going to put one right there and actually... one right here. I wish one of these was green. None of them are, right? So we're going to go ahead and use a red line, or sorry, a red candle. I'll go ahead and put one up right here. And then, yeah, I think I liked these two right here. Oh, just a little too high. Yeah. Cool. And then really look, again, the next one's here. Let me zoom out a little bit, see if I can find anything in between that. Is there? Look how far back we have to go for something in between. I'll take that little peak right there. Again, we're not going to zoom in. We're not necessarily looking for exact. Looks like there's another gap fill there. No, I think that's just a little too high. Look, exact. I'm just guessing, right? It looks like that's good. If I wanted to be exact with it, I'd zoom in. I'm actually going to change it to right here. I'm going to go with that peak right there. So, okay, I'm okay with that. Again, if we really wanted to, we could have zoomed in and gotten better lines for this 300 to basically 250 gap, but I'm okay with this for now. If we cross this 245, I'll make some better lines in between that. So, nonetheless, look, where are we right now? This was the day to get in, right? This was the day we break all the lines. We get a nice confirmation, even without these horizontals that I drew in, right? You get a nice confirmation, and then look, you start riding it. Don't get me wrong. I might have jumped out in one of these 3 days, maybe on this second day. But look, you're still over the 8, right? Some people are really good with staying on the 8 and just holding strong, right? But yeah, I probably would have banked a little bit of profit right here after a solid 3-day low. But nonetheless, we still bounce off the 8 and we keep going above the 8. And really, at this point, we're coming up to the 100, right? So what is the 100 actually at? 240 at 238, but I'm just going to round to 240, right? So I would expect 240 to come next on Netflix. MACD looks like it's calming down, but actually it looks like it might be trying to like recurve up. So I'll keep that as a positive MACD, but this RSI clearly was high, right? It got as high as 83. So it's just, I think, about time to cool off. So we might come down a little bit. let me just draw a line because I don't think it's going to drop that deep. I'm going to make one more immediate one off this, and it actually hit that. So I think we might come down as low as 215 on Netflix, but yeah, hopefully we get a little momentum in the coming days and make a run to that 240 or whatever that ends up being as it moves down. So, and then last but not least is GOOG. Again, let me hide these. All right, so I will say this. I really like this little setup we got going. Clearly, we haven't made the monster ride on Google up to 8 as we have on the others. It looks like it wants to break this 100 and make a good little run to the 200 there, right? Again, it's been trying to get over, finally gets over the 20. The 50 slaps it down, 50 slaps it down, 50, basically 100, you can almost say, slaps it down. This little cluster here gets difficult. And then look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days over the 8, and a handful of them are also over the 20 and the 50. Google seems to be the best of these FAANG stocks here, actually. So I'm going to put a line on that one. Put a line right there. Put a line right there. Let me just zoom out to see if there's anything better. Actually, no, those are pretty good. Nice. Okay, that hit the top of that. We might have even lowered it to right there, but whatever. Well, that was the view we had. Yeah, I think that's good. 3 up, and let's make a couple down. Excuse me. I think that'll be a good one for down. I think that'll be a good one for down. And then really, I mean, at that point, we're in the clusters, right? So I think that's a pretty good view. Look, Google hopefully gets a couple extra days of just riding the 8, right? Let's see what the lower indicators look like. Does it have the momentum to get over? Hey, that's the nicest of the MACDs that we've seen, right? It's got a nice takeoff going, and really the red is seemingly flat there. And then, so interesting. I'm going to say 2 things. Obviously, this looks like a downward slope, which isn't the best thing, right? I would have loved to see the upward. I like that it's relatively low, right? It's not like we were pushing the 80s and it's just going down. So this could have a chance. I would want to play this 120 line. I don't think I would get in until a break of 120. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to click the line. What's the actual 100 moving average? Hey, look, the 100 is at 119.88. My line's at 120.22. I would just wait for that break of 120 and then ride that up, hopefully to 123. Because again, it's about 5%. No, yeah, a little less than 5%. But you know, teach their own, right? I don't know who values what, but yeah, that's how I play. A little less risky, but obviously a little less money on the table, and I'm okay with that. Just depends how you want to play it. So this has been a quick review of the FAANG stocks. If you haven't already, check out the website chartreaders.com. You can see stock talks, the major market videos. I need to add some knowledge center stuff. I really do, but you can also sign up for the emails and get stuff there. You should also sign up for YouTube. YouTube's probably the easiest way to get all my videos as well. Trade safely.